Hello. We have arrived. We've arrived, folks. The moment is here. Clearly, the moment is too big for one Sam Sheehan. He's dodging. Sam Sheehan is dodging Giannis Antetokounmpo slop talk. He's so pissed. Bucks fan Sam is furious. I can hear you.
Can we please get this camera to work?
Camera doesn't work.
All right.
Hear you.
You can hear me at least though?
I can hear you.
All right. Well, that might have to be good. I spent just like 12 minutes trying to get this thing to go, and I don't know. It is what it is.
Don't worry about it.
It's Slop trial live.
Slop trial? Who are we putting John Horst on emergency trial now?
No, we're putting Sam Presti on trial because this is about the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Why?
Because they shouldn't do this trade. They should not trade for Giannis.
Well, they can't trade for Giannis.
Why?
How could they trade for Giannis?
What do you mean?
Are they just giving picks?
Yeah, there's picks that you didn't see the package that Kev tweeted out.
What was it?
It was basically everyone but their guys. It was like other Jalen Williams, Caruso, Dort.
Yeah, they legally can't trade Chet or J-Dub, so
Yeah.
they couldn't be involved. I mean, that's just not. This is beyond absurd because one, Giannis isn't living in Oklahoma City, so let's get that out of the way first. Giannis doesn't want to go there.
He's
you're not
used
going
to that highfalutin Wisconsin lifestyle.
Yeah, okay, he got drafted to the team and then accepted the fact that he was drafted to the Milwaukee Bucks, and then happened to like it there. If he's asking out, he's not living in Oklahoma City, dude. Like. They're 20-1. Like enough of this. They literally they won the champion. If they had lost the championship, you could talk me into this and I would be like, sure, fine, fair, whatever. They won the championship. Why would they? It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you obviously the way that they won last year was so commanding.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
We're not doing this. We're not spending the whole Giannis pod talking about a trade that's never going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. They shouldn't do this. I agree. Don't Sam Presti, don't
not
let
on
them
camera
do this
right now because I would shoot you with a gun if I could see you.
Yeah, you can't find me because I'm hiding from the thing. I don't understand what is going on with my camera. This is very frustrating.
Right, well, we're good. Don't. I'm already falling for your rage bait, as chat points out.
Yeah.
So let's hop into this because this is streaming straight on YouTube. So do not worry about your camera any longer. So Giannis finally basically asked out without asking out. He can't straight up ask out. So what happened was he, met with the Bucks along with his agent to essentially do this in a way that we all saw coming after. Very funny. I don't know if you caught this, but the Bucks played the Wizards the other night. And do you know who hit the game-winning shot?
No, I didn't. I don't know this.
Chris Middleton was the one who hit the game-winning shot for the Washington Wizards in that game. Amazing. So I did get a kick out of the fact that what is essentially potentially ending the Giannis era in Milwaukee is Chris Middleton hitting this shot. And I think we all saw this coming from a mile away. We've kind of talked about having a slop embargo on any Giannis talk because he just wouldn't ask out. And every time we thought he would, I mean, we spent basically a whole year talking about this, assuming that after last season, he would be asking out of Milwaukee. Now we go into this season, they try to kind of patchwork a team together. You had some nice surprises like Ryan Rollins. The Miles Turner thing hasn't really worked out in the way that, they probably anticipated it would. The East is very clearly very weak and kind of up for grabs, but I would say the Bucks are just obviously very far away. I mean, Giannis misses time. They go 1-5 during the stretch that he is out. They're not even that great with Giannis. They're like a 500 team with Giannis right now. And I think he had every right to ask out after last season. So the fact that this is happening now, I don't even think it necessarily like, I think a lot of teams were preparing for this anyway. I think a lot of teams were just waiting for Giannis to ask out and didn't blow all of their assets going after guys that were available last season, like Desmond Bane or Kevin Durant or whoever. And they have set themselves up nicely to be, in the Giannis sweepstakes right now. But there are some complications. Like, I don't think it's an easy trade to figure out for both sides because of the situation that Milwaukee's in right now.
No, I mean, I think that probably the biggest problem for like the big question I have. So it was like, what did you think that the Bucks were going to be good this year? like Giannis, did Giannis do the calculations and he was like, yeah, Miles Turner is really going to change things for us this year. I'm going to hang around and see what this is. Like, it just does seem like that if you're going to ask out at this point, shouldn't you have done that? Like, I don't know. Shouldn't that have just been like this summer, just like you were saying? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think that even Windy reported, like, he went into this season and basically said just before the season started, will you trade me to the Knicks? Like, he realized that was not going to be the thing that turns this around. Now, Rollins making the leap that he made this year and becoming like a legit starting point guard definitely was something that I thought if Giannis stayed healthy and maybe they could make another trade to get like another forward or wing or someone in there, that in this mass of a ton of mid teams in the East that maybe they could compete. I never picked them. I don't even think I think I picked them to be like the 6th seed. I don't know. I was not high.
I was
on
a little
this
higher
team.
on them. I was a little higher on them than you. Yeah.
I was not super high on this team in general because I've said time and time again, you cannot win with just one player in the NBA anymore. It is literally the furthest thing from, we are so far from 6 years ago when you just having the best player mattered so much that you could win 55 to 60 games. And now they've dwindled talent over the years. They haven't, obviously we've talked kind of ad nauseum with the fact they haven't hit on draft picks. All of their best moves are kind of on the margins with these MLE style moves. Occasionally they'll get a guy on a flyer like Rollins or AJ Green, but no one that really moved the needle for this team, right? So I completely understand why Giannis is asking out. And I also think that like the Bucks were basically like, well, if Giannis isn't asking out, we're never going to trade him, right? That's kind of the position they were in. So like franchise icon, franchise GOAT, arguably, between him and Kareem, but you'd probably lean towards Giannis just because of Kareem's career with the Lakers. And you look at the situation and you go, of course I'm not gonna trade away this player that has meant so much to us and brings in fans and won us a title and MVPs and blah, blah, blah. But they really had nothing left in the chamber. Like I'm surprised they made a team even as good as they did, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, like I know that they're mid right now, but I'm surprised they were able to get up to have like field a competent enough team to have this team that has at least multiple other level starter level players on the team. So I expected it, and I know Giannis probably wanted to try to see this thing through as much as he possibly could, but at the end of the day, you got to face facts, and this team is just not good enough to, let alone probably not make it to a conference finals. Like they might be able to win a playoff series, but even that is a stretch to me. So I just think that this was inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, this trade is inevitable. I guess I'm a little confused that like, because I think the big thing that's been kind of consistent with the reporting, even going back to like the first time he asked out, was like that he wants to pick his destination, right? And I think we're entering a really interesting thing where it's like, if Giannis really has his heart set on the Knicks, like I don't think the Knicks really have a very competitive package to put out there, and like unless they, quite frankly, overpay, like so. And it's all guys who are like in their mid prime to late prime that aren't really good rebuilding blocks that like the Bucks would then have to shop and flip again. Kind of like how the Blazers had to do with Drew Holiday. So I think this is like a very interesting test case of like because normally like when the star asks out, the star gets what they want, right? They get to go to the place that they want. It's usually like it's worked out. However, with like how big the salaries are, the second apron, all this other stuff that's kind of limiting, how creative GMs can get with trades. I think it's going to be really interesting to see like how much honoring John Horst and like the Bucks front office does of like Giannis's wishes in a trade request,
So he did ask out before the season, asked to be traded to the Knicks. Sham said it goes beyond the Knicks. Who knows if that's from the Bucks perspective and they're just trying to, I have heard the narrative that, they're just trying to get leverage in Knicks talks. And I'm like, well, there isn't really any like leverage to be had. You either have enough to trade for Giannis or you don't, right? like when you talk about like leverage, it's like, all right, like for example, if you trade with the Thunder and they want to give you 2 first-round picks for a player and you want 3 and then another team makes a more competitive offer, right? The Knicks what leverage is being held there unless you're going to trade away Jalen Brunson, which they're not going to do, right?
Yeah.
Like,
no, like who's going to want that? Yeah.
And my whole thing is like, sure, you could piece together OG Anunoby and maybe a team might be willing to take on Karl Anthony Towns, or there are ways to, compile things, trade out guys, like you said, similar to the Drew Holiday thing. Maybe they have the Knicks do the legwork there and go figure out what those guys' values are across the league and then flip that to Milwaukee. Sure, that might be something that can happen. But the reality usually is that teams either have enough to trade. They either have a centerpiece of a trade package, whether it's a young player or a handful of picks to trade for a star that is the level of Giannis. And well, I don't think that he's peak Giannis anymore. He's still very clearly in his prime. Like, I think that Giannis, I'm just going to continue here. I just think that Giannis is very clearly one of the, I think the worst you could go is 3rd or 4th best player in the NBA still in 2025. He's someone who will definitely change your team. This is my whole thing with any Giannis trade. People think you could just throw Giannis onto a team and then that makes you a contender. And I think that I guess my whole thing here is like, I don't think Giannis is like a super clean fit with a ton of ball dominant stars. And if you have Giannis, you should probably build around Giannis on your team. And of course there are teams that he could go to and the talent would just win out, right? Like if he went to the Rockets or something, like they would just still be a really good team. But I don't think that he has like a very clean fit in the same way that some other stars that have been traded might have. Like, for example, like we already saw it didn't work with Dame. Now Dame was older and it was Giannis's team and there's all that, but like Dame and Giannis plus a bunch of whatever was not good enough. And if you're trading for Giannis, what team has enough to trade for Giannis, can make a realistic trade package, and also the Bucks will be interested in it? I have a few teams if you want to run through them now.
Yeah, let's go, because I did like a little bit of like preliminary work, but I bet we ended up with a lot of the same.
All right, so let's talk about so first off, actually, before we get into this, thank you to Mikey Stan for donating $10 to the Sam Sheehan Tuxedo Fund for America. We do appreciate that. I'm looking forward to the Tux Part 2.
I'm actually wearing the Tux right now, but you can't see it.
That's why it's not on camera.
Yeah, that's why I'm not on camera. It's like it's kind of like how you don't want to see a bride in her dress before her wedding. Yeah. You don't want to see me in the tuxedo before the Thunder repeat title this year.
So the few teams I think that are realistic for that, to be clear, have enough, because I still think you have to trade like legit shit to get Giannis, very obviously, in a way that, like, I don't know if you heard Bill, but Bill was like, trade Trae Young, Porzingis, and picks for Giannis. And I'm like, Trae Young has no trade value.
Yeah,
he's an expiring
neither
contract.
of those guys have trade value.
Porzingis is an expiring contract. Unless you want to salary dump Giannis for some first round picks. Now, to be fair to Bill, he did say that Pelicans pick was going to be included, which is the Pelicans pick that they got on draft night. I get that, but also if you're trading away Giannis and that becomes like the 8th pick in the draft, cool. You got the 8th pick in the draft, an expiring salary for Giannis. For, by the way, 2 players who might not want to be in Milwaukee. That's another thing. Like
if that's the package, I'm waiting until I know what that pick is going to be. Like if you win the lottery, then yes, we can make
exactly. That's what I was going to say. There are a few packages that you could talk me into if we waited until next offseason, whether it's with the 2022 draft guys or it is like we know this is the first pick in a loaded draft, right? We're trading Cam Boozer for Giannis. We're trading AJ Dibansta for Giannis. The difference is right now you can't take that lottery ticket and be like, here's the main asset we got back for Giannis Antetokounmpo. So the first team that I thought of was the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, it seems like they're kind of the hot like, for any of these. And it's been like kicked around just because like the Giannis Wemby front court would be so overwhelming and like hypothetically could fit together because of like Wemby's shooting and, some of the other stuff going on there. What was the package you ended up landing on?
So I looked at their books and first off, I mean, I actually understood Bill saying like, I don't want to trade Harper. Even though it is Giannis, like, Harper so far in his career has looked, I mean, he looks like he's going to be like that guy. I get why you would be skeptical because it's a year and a half. First off, we have to get some sort of assurance that Giannis wants to be wherever he gets traded. Now, does he want to live in San Antonio? I don't know. I mean, I know that San Antonio has more of a history than Oklahoma City and Wemby's there. And then there's that appealing factor. But the long and short of this to me was, if you are the Bucks, would you prefer just to try to get as many draft like to me, what does De'Aaron Fox do for me is the question. Cause like there's a package where they could probably put together, they would have to wait a little bit when Fox is, more available to trade, but you could do like Fox, Castle and picks. But if I were the Bucks, I might be more interested in just getting Castle, whatever salary filler it takes to reach it, like Keldon Johnson, Kelly Olynyk, whoever, and a few and like a bunch of picks, like because they have a lot of picks. You're muted, Sam. Okay. All right. Well, I guess this isn't working for Sam, but of course I don't have time to edit this too, so this is great timing. Yeah, I guess Sam has, it keeps saying he's editing, but that's not, I don't know. Sam, leave the stage and come back if you can hear me. Sam died of old age. You could also trade Fox to a third team for sure. Once again, you're talking about the clunkiness of the fit here a little bit, where Fox is probably a guy who relies on having the ball. Harper's a guy who relies on having the ball. Giannis is a guy who relies on having the ball. And also if you have Wemby. So maybe that 4 isn't quite good enough, especially when you're trying to integrate these guys on the fly during a regular season when, you think you're going to be pretty good moving forward, where you might want to go for the longer term window instead of the shorter term window. Oh my God, Sam's here.
Oh my God, dude. I don't know what was going on with my, like, everything freaked out. I tried to like open Fanspo to like run things in the sidebar. I can't like have more than one tab open right now. So
then just let it go.
We're just going to have to do this. So sorry if I get things wrong. I can't look things
You're
up.
good. I can look at anything you need me to look at. So, my whole thing here was, do you think that Fox, like if you were the Bucks, would you rather have a ton of picks or De'Aaron Fox?
No, so that's what I was just going to say, because I think that's the problem with the Spurs package. I don't want De'Aaron Fox in his 5-year fucking contract,
right,
dude. Like, I don't like, that's like a net, like, I don't know. It's positive value, but like Barely. It's a point guard who's athletic, who doesn't really shoot, kind of has a little bit of a shaky fit on most teams that don't have fucking Victor Wembanyama. Like, Dylan Harper, if I'm trading for Giannis, sorry, you're giving me Dylan Harper. That's like non-negotiable. And then we can figure out the rest of the salary if you want to keep.
That's why Fox, I think they don't do it.
We'll do Vassell and, whatever.
Well, yeah, that was the other package I had was like Vassell, Castle, Keldon, Olynyk, whatever it takes to make the salary work, because you can trade one of those guys, and a ton of picks, right? Like just like throw picks at them and say, let's have this massive front court with Wemby and Giannis. And then, there's not a lot of shooting. Yeah, there's a ton of ball handling, but guys that need the ball. But we are going to have a super big, talented, freakish team that could probably go head to head with OKC as soon as this year. And by the way, Fox is in his prime. Giannis is in his prime. Like, these aren't guys that we're going to have to wait to develop. And then long-term, you're going Harper and Wemby as your guys for the next window, essentially, is what I'm trying to get at. I actually think that that's why they don't end up doing it, is I don't think they're going to want to include Harper. I think just the way that small markets function, they don't make these kind of trades. And if I had to pick between Harper and Castle in terms of who I think has more long-term upside, it's definitely Harper.
It's definitely Harper. It's like not even close. Like
Castle's,
I'll
Castle will be a good player.
I was going to say, like, Castle's like kind of won me over a little bit more this year. Like, he's better than I thought he was. Like, he's got a little bit more. There's more to his kind of high-end starter, maybe borderline all-star outcomes than maybe I had thought before, but it's still not very likely, I don't think. So, whereas, like, I think Harper is definitely going to make an all-star game at least at some point in his career.
Harper is like very, like, the things that I worried about with Harper coming in, and I loved Harper in the draft, but the things that I worried about with him, they're pretty much like things I expect him to get better at, like the off the dribble shooting, the he's just immediately translated, and his rim pressure and the ability to get to the line and finish is incredible for someone his age. And he's already basically, a near starting, probably a starting level point guard already. And he's 19. Like, I would imagine that he has, I think he has, like, very clearly has all NBA upside. But the other teams, like, I'm kind of lukewarm on whether I think the Spurs would actually do it, just because that's generally not how these kind of markets function. The next team that everyone is talking about is the Hawks.
So, obviously, I think, as we kind of touched on a second ago, I think the kind of the linchpin to the Hawks package is, like, do you think the Pelicans are going to continue to be the worst team in the NBA, and are, like, is the 60 whatever % chance of getting the top 3 pick for one of those guys worth hinging your package on? Because I don't think they're giving up, like, how much you're willing to give up. Like, are you putting Dyson Daniels in the trade? Are you putting?
Well, they can't trade Dyson Daniels. He's another 2022 draft guy. That's once again, like, it is poison pilled. So technically, there might be some trade you can do out there where you dump him to, like, the Nets or something. It's not likely, is what I'm trying to say. So, like, here's my thing with the Hawks. They have their pick right now.
Mm-hmm.
They have the Bucks and Pelicans pick, right?
Yeah.
Next year, they actually got a pick that's kind of similar from the DeJounte Murray trade. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. It is top 4 protected, though. So it's the, I believe, if I remember correctly, it's the worst of the Bucks and Pelicans next year. So both those teams are going to be pretty bad a year from now, I would imagine. But the top 4 protections, if it falls in the top 4, you don't get the pick. So that's like a real risk. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you either get it or you don't type thing. And that is a massive risk if you're trading Giannis and you look at one of that pick as like a major asset that you're getting back in the trade. But the things that I've seen with the Hawks are, like, pretty, I mean, it's kind of ludicrous, to be honest with you. Like, oh, maybe they could trade Riche. I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm sorry. I'm trading Giannis. Riche is not doing much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. Like, unless I'm getting every single pick you can send me and other good players, I do not care about getting Risha Shea.
I gotta say, to take one of Bill's shticks, I've been holding land on Risha Shea Island. It's getting a little bit rough. A lot of the buildings are starting to be boarded up. There's the local store has gone out of business. People are moving away. It's not good times on Risha Shea Island. And
I'm so mad I dropped that. I'm so mad that I dropped all my Risha Shea skepticism.
Yeah,
I just don't know what he does. Like like he's fine. He's a fine wing. He's a fine wing who can like kind of shoot, kind of handle the ball. Not a good rebounder, pretty good defender, not a great. He's just like a lukewarm player all around to me. And like I've kind of always stood on maybe he could have maybe there's a chance he could be like French Mikal Bridges long term or something along those lines. Yeah. But like if that is the player that you are hinging the Giannis trade on, it's just an absurd concept.
No, he's a nice player. You've basically got to treat Risha Shea like a good young starter, and that's kind of his upside. That's not even like, right now. Like he's a fine rotation player right now with the upside to maybe develop into like a good starter. Like,
sure.
And that's where his trade value's at right now. Like, and I'm sorry, he makes a lot of money because he was the number 1 overall pick. So it's like you're not even really getting that much of a deal on his. Yeah.
So the Hawks package could look something like that. Those 2 Pelicans picks. Plus whatever future draft capital that Atlanta can send. Once again, I don't think they're trading Jalen Johnson. Now, Jalen Johnson kind of falls into the Harper category for me, where I'm like, all right, Jalen Johnson's already there, to be clear. Like Jalen Johnson is very clearly going to be, an all-star this year, potentially even better long-term. And I know it's Giannis we're talking about here, but this is a team that's just in flux, right? Like, that's the weird part about the Hawks is like their best player coming into the season was Trae Young, right? And they don't even know if Trae Young's going to be on the team. And if they're making a trade based around, if they're trading for Giannis, Trae's main job in that trade is to be salary filler, right?
Yeah. And again, it's a lot of the issues we were just talking about with the Knicks, where it's like, do you really want like Trae? I mean, I guess Trae is a sort of young. How old is Trae? 26, 27?
Trae's not young. Trae's like 27. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like he's younger than the Knicks guys, but not by much. Like, so why are you doing that? Like it's the same problem. You have to flip him. And then if I'm the Bucks front office, do I want to bet on the trade value of Trae Young in the NBA? Because guess what? The Hawks haven't been able to trade him for fair value for like 3 fucking years.
Yeah.
They've been trying to do this.
McMahon came out with an article today. It was basically like Trae Young has no trade value. He was like Trae Young, LaMelo, and Ja have no trade value. They might get traded for each other, but it's not, it is not looking like they have a ton of surplus trade value right now. So that was the hard part about making a Hawks deal, to be honest with you, is like, They kind of have to pick where they're at as a team. And it seems like they're probably just going to be patient and walk through this thing until they get to the offseason, see what that picks looks like. Because once again, the Bucks don't have their picks. They at least can have, there are a few teams out there that own some Bucks draft capital that could help them basically get some of their control back, right? Like not quite a 1-for-1 because the Nets kind of had to piecemeal this thing together. But when the Nets got some of their picks back around the time they traded Mikal Bridges, right? Where they're able to, take, let's say you get a player for Giannis and like, for example, the team that I want to talk about next, because I have a hard time seeing either Atlanta or the Spurs having enough. The team that might have enough that I think it's ridiculous that they don't even like, we're going to hear this. We're already hearing the coat. The Miami Heat might have enough to trade for Giannis, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But they're like, we're not trading Bam. I'm like, then you're not getting Giannis.
Yeah, sorry. Why are you?
It's
to be fair though, like, how do you even make that salary work? Is it the Rozier contract and Hero? Is that enough?
Sam, you have spent the last 2 years talking about how Bam Adebayo is one of the worst contracts in the NBA.
Yeah.
He makes $50 million a year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want Bam if I'm the.
Oh,
if I'm
no.
Yeah.
Here's what I was going to say. Okay, ready?
Okay.
You might not value Bam.
I don't.
You are not an NBA front office. I would put money on the fact that there are 20 teams out there that want to trade, or let's say 10 teams that want to trade for Bam. I'm just telling you, I know for a fact NBA team, he's kind of a diet Anthony Davis in this regard, where the league's always been very high on Bam.
Yeah.
And if you put Bam out on the trade market, he would get a big return, I think. And my whole thing on this is that if you want to do that with the Knicks guys, Bam would get more than the Knicks guys, is my...
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Which is absurd. Like, you're correct about that, but that's a little ridiculous, to be totally.
I don't know if it's absurd. I mean, I think OG Anunoby should get a lot, but OG Anunoby also makes $40 million a year and gets hurt a lot. So
it's harassment flirting with like him and Cat. Like, if you traded for Cat and they have like very similar contracts, everyone's like, yeah, you're an idiot who should be shot with a gun. And if you trade for Bam, it's like, you're a genius, smartest person alive.
I think it's probably because when you're trading for Bam, you're thinking of having Bam as your second or third best player when you trade for him, right? Like this idea that Ethan just threw in here, which is something that I thought of. You could do Bam to Portland for the Bucks picks and Klingon sent to Milwaukee because I
love that. Absolutely.
So for who?
If I'm the Heat, I'm getting Klingon and picks, or I'm the Bucks and it's a third team.
Yeah,
I don't care if I'm getting Klingon and those picks back. Absolutely, sign me the fuck up. Like, I don't care. Amazing.
Yeah. So this is what I think ultimately, if the Heat are in on Giannis, like, by the way, it's not just Bam that would be included in the package. They have a few guys that might have value. Like, they didn't.
Where is
someone
kind of
who could have a lot of value?
Yeah.
Kasparis Yakuchonis does not have value. No. You have to play for me to think that you have value. But
I think Tyler Hero has value.
Tyler Hero might have value on his current contract.
Yeah. Which is funny because I spent like all of 2 seasons ago like clowning him and saying he was the worst contract in the NBA. But like, he had a pretty good year last year.
They don't want to extend him is the thing until they know what they're doing with this, right? Jaime Jaquez. They have guys they could throw in and get stuff back, right?
Yeah.
If they want to do the whole thing where they say we're not moving Bam, then let's not have this conversation. What? First off, is Bam and Giannis a good fit? Like, defensively,
terrible fit. No,
but like, unless you think Bam's shooting is like 100% real, and you think that's his, like, he can just really shoot now, which I don't even think he's shooting that great, to be clear. It is just kind of an awkward fit. And once again, it is Bam. Bam's like their guy, and I understand from a culture perspective why they wouldn't want to do, but like from an on-court perspective, if you took Bam, whatever picks you can trade. By the way, did you see Barry Jackson was like,
no, what did he do this time?
He was like, well, if the league decides to give him the Rozier pick back, I'm like, oh my God, get over it. You made a bad trade. Live with it. I'm sorry. Even Terry Rozier, that would be the most bailout shit I've ever seen in my life if the NBA decided to step in and do that.
So the idea is that Charlotte gets punished because Terry Rozier like later did gambling. Is that's the Charlotte's losing the pick they traded for?
Essentially, yes, which makes no sense.
I'm sorry. That's the most bozo fucking thing of all time. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of, do you remember way back in the day, the like Vikings Saints game where there was like a bad defensive pass interference call and they wanted to like all the Saints fans wanted to like replay the game.
Yeah. Championship.
Yeah. It reminds me of that.
Yeah, no,
like, that's not how this works, man. That's
sorry. Not going to happen. And also, I've seen this floated around. Giannis wouldn't want to go to the Heat if Bam's not there. Tough shit. Sorry. I hear this. I see this every time with fucking. If you're one of the best players in the world, you're not getting traded for fucking nothing. Like, I consistently see this, and by the way, I don't.
Just because it happened for Luka doesn't mean it's going to happen for you. That was a one-off thing. Like,
by the way, I've seen this though.
Yeah.
Like, if you put Giannis on the Heat, tell me, if you put Giannis on the Heat right now instead of Bam, let's just say it's a straight up 1-for-1 swap. They could win the East this year. That's a good team. They're a good team right now.
They're a good team. Like, Spo is coaching his fucking ass off. Dude, if Spo doesn't win Coach of the Year, by the way, like, this roster is kind of dog shit. I'm going to be totally honest.
I don't even think the roster is that bad. I think
it's not that it's bad. Sorry, dog shit's like the wrong word, but it's like not a good roster, and they're like
it's a good roster for what they're trying to do, though. And what they're trying to do is this new, like, I don't even know if this shit will work in the playoffs, to be clear, but this like one-on-one kind of constant movement off the ball, the thing that the Grizzlies did last year. They got a lot of good one-on-one players like Norm Powell and Andrew Wiggins and Tyler Hero and Davion Mitchell and Jaime Jaquez. Like, they're all pretty good at that, and they've seemingly maximize those guys so far this year. I was not that high on them coming into the year. They've been one of my surprises this year, where I think they've definitely outperformed their talent with this new system for sure. But this team also doesn't have Giannis. Like, if you put Giannis on this team with all of those guys, Norm Powell, Andrew Wiggins, whoever, like, that's a lot. And even let's just say you keep Tyler Hero on that situation. Like, unlike an older version of Dame, like, I do think that Hero might be willing to play more of a two-man game off the ball style with Giannis. Like, I think that would be a really good team.
Giannis is just the answer to the question, what if Bam was good? And like, you would be better. Like, what does Giannis not do that Bam does do?
No, Giannis is
the exact same player.
You can't do this thing. And by the way, the Lakers do this and they get away with it. So I guess the Heat think they can too. You can't do this thing where you, for 6 years, you go, we want Giannis. And the second he becomes available, you go, we're not trading away the 27th best player in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. Then you don't get Giannis. Let's move on.
Sorry.
Yeah. all right. Yeah. Okay.
Part of the thing with trading for Giannis is you have to be willing to like give up good players. Like, I think we've kind of gotten away with it because we have seen like people look at like KD getting traded for like Jalen Green in the number 10 pick. And it's like, okay, but he's like 1 billion years old. He is my age. That is an old man.
Kevin Durant isn't one of the 10 best players in the NBA anymore. Exactly. And like, everyone needs to stop acting like that. Like that, that. And once again, a few years ago when he got traded for that haul, good players plus all the draft picks possible, right? Like when the Nets and the Suns made that trade, they had to give up 2 quality starters that were in their prime and every pick, right, they could possibly trade. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and every pick and swap, right, to get Kevin Durant when he was still a top 10 player in the NBA. Most teams right now either send out all of their picks or they don't have the ability to send those guys to a team like Milwaukee right now in a way that, you know, like the Knicks could have done this if they didn't do the Mikal Bridges trade. There are plenty of teams out there that have already shot their wad.
Yeah, no, and I think like that's why I think Miami kind of does have a sneaky good like trade package, because if you think Tyler Hero has like a little bit of trade value, I think that Khalil Ware, I think Khalil Ware is a fucking demon, dude. Like like that's a genuine blue chip like player. Like, I think if you could get a dude like that, like
I really like Khalil Ware. I had him very high. I would not fall for it if I were another team. Like, I think he's the classic man. He's not saying he's not a good, talented, athletic, all that. He will be complete dog shit on another team. I can already tell.
That's fair.
I can already tell the Heat trade that guy away and he turns into Christian Wood. Like, he's literally like,
that is fair.
It is just so obvious to me. But I do think I think on the Heat specifically, he's really good. And like, look, there are guys that will be included in a Giannis package that I think, it wouldn't be included for other players. And by the way, I've said this before, the Heat don't make these trades unless they're getting the best player. We finally have a trade where they're very clearly getting the best player, right?
Yeah.
Because for years, it's always like the Heat might trade for what I'm like, they're not trading one of their young guys. When was the last time they traded one of their young guys? 26-year-old Josh Richardson when they got fucking Jimmy Butler. Like, they don't do that. unless the player like legitimately sucks. But now they finally have a player who's good enough to do for it to actually make that trade, and we'll see what happens.
It would make me so mad. I'm really happy that they're like drawing the line at Bam, because I would be furious if they did trade for Giannis.
I do wonder how much of that is posturing though, because if it gets out there that you're willing to include Bam and then the trade falls through, cool, we just upset the guy who we have viewed as like one of our cornerstones.
I know. Yeah, I'm giggling at Bam, who we pay $60 million to be the 70th best player in the NBA, is so mad at us right now.
I mean, I'm just telling you, that's how the Heat function.
Like, I know, but I tell you, I love watching the what is it, the Sun Sports, whatever the Miami Heat broadcast is. They're all like, Bam. They call Bam the captain. It's like the captain is in the game, and I'm like, this is awesome.
He's the culture, dude.
Yeah, he really is.
He's like, what the culture's feeling.
New Udonis Haslem just dropped.
That honestly,
talented player.
I was gonna say that is the reason why I think that they're like so hesitant to move him at all. Is literally because they've built like their identity around him. And he's a good player, but he's not good enough to not be included in these conversations. But
Pat Riley, I can see you brandoning like this. Bam is your guy as you slip deeper and deeper into the throes of dementia. Do not do this. Bam is your son. You love him. You do not want to trade for Giannis. You can't give him up for.
He's a Jimmy Butler survivor. He survived the harsh trauma that Jimmy Butler put you in that organization through.
I need dog shit Pat Riley. Can you give me one more? Can you give me one more franchise ruining move? God, he you know what though? He might be innocent because he didn't do the Damian Lillard trade. God, he wanted to do the Damian Lillard trade so bad, and
they wouldn't let him do it.
Portland saved him from it.
God, what's funny is
awesome,
that if Portland didn't take what they got for Dame and basically spin that into Denny and shit,
yeah,
they would have, like, Miami's package would have been by far the best package that they were offered. Because remember what the package was. It was Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, picks, all that stuff. Now, obviously, if you're trading away Dame, I understand why they didn't do it at the time, and they rebounded nicely from it. But it is very funny that the Heat people who were saying, no, this is the best offer they'll get, were technically correct if you take it at face value of what was offered at the time.
Yeah, sure, but I think they ended up doing fine or about normal.
They basically got Denny Avdia for Drew for Dame, and then they got like I think 2 picks out of that, if I remember correctly. They still have.
and then got Drew anyway.
Well, hey, they have the Bucks picks, which are looking very, very good. Yeah. I mean, we're still. It is kind of similar to the Sixers owning the Clippers picks, though, where it's far enough away that like the team might be able to rebound from this in time. But the Bucks. This is the other thing is like, because I wrote down what would you try to get back if you were the Bucks, and it's a hard thing to do because one, I don't know if John Horst is going to be the one seeing this thing through. To be clear, like I think this might be his swan song. He tried to save it so many times and just it did not end up working out.
I'll say this: he squeezed like 2 more years out of this thing.
Definitely,
he like it should have like. The Dame trade, this should have been over with it. I mean, that was a catastrophically bad move, and I don't know. Some people liked it. I thought it was clear as day that Dame was dog shit and was old when that happened. But like, I get that you kind of have to. Yeah, they had to do something. But now it's like, but some of the stuff like Ryan Rollins. I don't know, like
AJ
some of these
guy, like
yeah,
like it is very fun. I know he just got extended. I'm just telling you, I don't think that matters that much. We'll see. We'll see if they end up having him see this through. But obviously, he's never really got a chance to draft high with the Bucks because they've always had Giannis ever since he took over. And they don't have most of their picks. Like obviously, they've traded all of them trying to build around Giannis. But his draft history, like he hasn't had really any hits.
Well. Will brings up a good point here. Does this mean Miles Turner back in the trade machine?
I literally had that written down for when we were done with this.
Okay.
Do they trade Miles Turner?
They should. They absolutely should. I don't know what team The Pacers.
The Pacers take him back. All right, fine.
Pacers.
There are teams that I think that he could still work on for sure. I do think that the Pacers covered up a lot of his issues, though, which was like they had a bunch of wings and forwards who could rebound.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of guys with size in the perimeter that could defend. And Turner is kind of in that mold of like 7-foot combo guard, basically, where it's like, all right, he's not doing all of the big man stuff that you would want, your center to do, which is part of the reason why this whole thing hasn't really worked out. His rebounding is just terrible. It's made them a really terrible rebounding team in general. I thought it could work because of the Giannis fit, to be honest with you, but I do think that he would still have some value. Like didn't he sign like a $25 million a year deal?
Something like that. I mean,
not that bad.
If I were the Lakers, I would call him that.
I was going to say like a team. If there are teams out there that I think would just send them expiring salary with like a first round pick, like the Lakers. I don't think the Warriors would do it just because the Warriors I don't really see that fit there with them. Like they need someone who has like actual big man skill and size if they are acquiring a big. But I think $25 million a year is fine.
I think it would be awesome for the Raptors, but I know that they're not going to want to mess with what they have going on right now. So
that's an interesting one. I didn't even think of that because they kind of already have. Do they really have the dirty work guys to get away with that? I guess Colin Murray-Boyles, if you believe in him.
Scotty's a scrapper.
Scotty's good at that, but if you're keeping now, look, I don't know what this trade looks like to be clear because they just extended Jakob Poeltl and he's actually bounced back since his little back injury to start the year. They have Mamu.
Talking my language. Yeah, that's right.
We have Super Miles Turner.
Yeah, we've got Mamu at home and it's Miles Turner.
Yeah.
The
so I think if they were to trade Miles Turner, he would definitely have some value. But back to the Giannis conversation, I think if the Heat get serious about this, they're going to be a front runner. To be honest,
I agree with you that I think. Yeah. Well, can I tell you about the other team that I think is kind of a quiet front runner?
I have two other ones.
You're not going to like what I have to say.
Okay.
I think the Sixers, if they wanted to, could get involved with this.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. What's the deal?
Embiid, VJ, and
Embiid's unmovable. There's no way any team in the NBA is taking the Embiid contract.
Why did the Bucks care?
Because we're sending Embiid, VJ, and every pick we have.
Yeah, to the Clippers picks.
To the two Clippers picks.
Yeah.
I don't think. I'm just telling you, NBA teams don't think in the same way that we do. NBA teams don't go, yeah, sure, we'll take $70 million a year 4 years from now for a player who might have. I mean,
they're fucked anyway, and it's going to be a massive expiring in 3 years. So it's like
3.
So it's fine. Like,
can you believe? I first off, I love this. I love this spin that. It's a massive expiring 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years from now, it's going to be valuable.
That is the most glass half full shit I've ever heard.
You also don't need him. What is Embiid bad at? High pressure. What would be awesome for him?
What is Embiid bad at? Playing basketball games, bro.
Yeah, who cares?
He's a part-time player making $55 to $70 million a year.
But you're fucked anyway. This is the thing. Like, I don't think like you're 3 years away from being competitive again anyway, no matter what. Even if you get that Heat package, you're not.
Look, sign me up. If we're trading, if that's the package and the Bucks are delusional enough to want to do that, I'm there. Let's do it.
That's an awesome. I would do that if I were the Bucks. I
think they would be crazy to do that.
I kind of prefer that to the Heat package. I think he's a much VJ. I think is a genuine guy. I think that those Clippers picks are fucking juicy. Like,
it's amazing. Can the Bucks hire Sam?
I would love that. Like, call me up. Let's bookmark this one. We need to have a format for stamping controversial takes to revisit, because this happens all the time where one of us says something insane, but sometimes we get it right and sometimes we're horribly wrong. We need a Library bookmark on this one. For
right. Wave your hands. So
this is the library book. Someone in the Discord. We have someone who has a file this one away.
This is incredible.
Pin this. Yeah.
So the Sixers then could start Maxey, Grimes, Paul George, Giannis, and Drummond, I guess, is their starting five, and then still have McCain. We didn't have to include McCain in the trade.
Yeah, I mean, that would probably be the haggle point. Was like, is it another pick?
Hey,
or is it
haggle point here. You give us the worst contract maybe in the history of the NBA.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you,
Giannis.
They already did it. So first of all, the worst contract in the NBA, they already amnestied Damian Lillard, so you don't have to worry about that.
The wave and stretch of Joel Embiid's contract 2 years from now for the Bucks, so that they just have $70 million. Actually, that is interesting because it's very funny that there actually is the Dame contract would be off the books by that point. But if they were to do, like, they have no financial flexibility with dead salary. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You muted yourself.
Yeah. No, sorry. I was getting ready to yell at Will by typing, and then you asked me a question directly. So
perfect.
So I was wrong about Jalen Brunson, but one of the rare times I was wrong. However, I was correct about the Celtics this year. So
for anyone who went to the live show, they know that this was retracted at the live show. I do not think Patrick Beverley is perfect in every way.
Trill said he was double perfect in every way and tripled down at the live show. Everyone booed him.
I haven't checked my phone recently.
Trill's mom threw a napkin at him. It was crazy.
So a few things with so what team were we talking about before?
I derailed us with the Sixers.
I literally had them on my just like for where the Sixers are at right now. So a few things. Any trade I think that could realistically happen for Giannis would be something. I think it would be more like Paul George, VJ, McCain, and picks. And then at that point, the Sixers don't have enough good players because Embiid doesn't play. And then you have Maxey, Giannis, Grimes on an expiring contract who could just walk after the season. Like, to me, the Giannis trade would be, you know what? I think if there was a world where the Giannis trade could have happened with the Sixers, which Chiodo told me, I don't know if you're aware of this piece of information. I believe Wendy was the one who shared it, that New York is the only place that flies directly to Athens, Greece, which is where Giannis's family is living right now.
Okay.
And the reason I say this to you is because JJ Redick famously lived in New York and played for the Sixers. Yes. So he said, "Can JJ Redick get on the phone?" It was KOC, so it's a very trusted source.
Yeah.
Can he get on the phone with JJ Redick and have him explain that it's actually easy to commute from New York and Philly, and you could go see your family all the time. Don't worry about it. As if Giannis wouldn't have enough money just to do that private. Like,
also, like that,
Giannis have like $1 billion ownership.
That's also like one of the like key ownership, like one of the key wink handshake things that all these guys get from their owners is like, and you can use the plane whenever you want. Like, yeah,
exactly. So once again, I think it would just be a trade. That reality that we lived in. The reality we lived in where the Sixers could possibly get Giannis was if Joel Embiid never signed the extension. And then he had a year and a half left on the deal. And then the Bucks don't take on the long-term commitment. They get a guy like VJ, McCain, and picks. And then maybe they could talk themselves into that.
I'm just saying, I don't think the money fucking matters for the Bucks because they. You have to remember they already wave and stretch Dame. Like they're fucking dead as far as salary stuff is concerned. Anyway,
I'm just telling you, this isn't how NBA teams work, though.
They should. They're morons. I'm just saying. Like this is you. This is part of the deal with trying to extend your window and throwing all the picks and bullshit out the door. You're gonna be dog shit for 3 years, no matter what. You can either lean into that or you can try to be good in spite of it and maybe make the 10 seed once and then be bad for 10 years instead of 3.
All right. So the other teams that I thought were realistic, not teams that I thought like I don't see the Sixers getting involved really at all unless there is a pathway for them to somehow get off that money, which I just don't see it. The Rockets are still a team that can
they still have a lot of shit.
They still have a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Like the Rockets are a team that they've stacked so much up that they made the KD trade because they're like, fuck it, we can still trade for Giannis later. Like I will say this much though, the fact they can't trade Jabari's salary hurts.
Yeah.
And they'd have to piecemeal. They'd have to get the Fred VanVleet piece of this is now complicated because Fred, remember, has a 1 year no trade clause. So they would have to have him waive that.
Hey man, do you want to live in Houston? What about beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
They also cannot trade Kevin Durant because they just extended him.
Yeah, I mean Kevin
Durant. They wouldn't do that. Yeah, I'm just saying they can't do that. So
it's hard to get to the salary is what you're saying.
The salary is hard to get to, but I will say this much. It would be very funny if Fred VanVleet was the money to go back, because he literally had, the series of his life against them to start this whole fucking thing and put a stake in the heart of that team. Yeah, it would have to be like Dorian Finney-Smith, Steven Adams, Fred VanVleet, and every pick they possibly, and like honestly here's the thing, the question for you is Amen Thompson because Amen makes $10 million a year. He's the kind of prospect we're talking about right now where if you're trading away Giannis, you want to get like a blue chipper, right? Amen is very obviously a blue chipper, and I've said before, I don't think that fit works. Like if you want to develop Amen into who he can be eventually.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can't really have those two guys together.
Yeah, it's like it would like I do think that it does hurt losing a dirty work guy like him on a team that you're now like, all right, it's Şengün, KD, Giannis, Reed Shepherd, Jabari. Like,
can I do kind of a hot take here?
Yeah.
I don't think I would trade for Giannis at least until the offseason. I kind of want to get to the playoffs and see what I have. Like,
I think there are a few teams where, because it makes it so hard to make the trade work financially, like for example, like when people are like, what about Paulo for Giannis? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure the Magic would love to do that.
Yeah.
I wonder why. But
I do think Paolo probably is the best single player they could probably get back, non-pick division, right?
Are we including Bam?
Yeah, he's better than Bam.
I don't think he's better than Bam. I didn't have him above Bam on my preseason player rankings. Bam has been the second best player on two different finals teams.
I'm not. I know like Paulo's like a nerd thing.
I'm not even like a Paulo hater relative to other people.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, I think Bam is a better player than Paulo.
I think Paulo's a much better, even if you are someone who is a Bam fan. I think that Paulo is a much cleaner sell to front a reset for your team.
The Bam trade is always going to be you're flipping Bam for a ton of value.
Well, this is what I'm saying though. Like, what's the, that's
once again, I think there are many more teams in the NBA that would trade for Bam than Paulo.
That's a fact. No, because if you're trading, I'm not flipping Paolo. I'm keeping Paolo if I'm the Bucks.
If you're the Bucks and you're like, all right, Paolo plus we get every pick we can, and maybe they throw in like Anthony Black or whoever.
Right. Ooh.
I know that. Anthony Black's been balling out recently.
Well, and that's my guy.
Yeah.
Dude, he's been looking great. He's been looking great.
Yeah, I mean, this is just absurd haterism, and I have to support it. Yeah. Sam calling Bam the 70th best player in the league on the stream. I have to. Mm-hmm. I'll allow you to cook on that, but I think you're absolutely wrong. He's at worst, he's like a top 35 player.
I need him to be the best center on his own team before he can be a top 30 player in the league.
So yeah, the Rockets, the hardest part about it is the salary matching, weirdly enough. If this was over the summer, I think they would have, well, I guess then Jabari hadn't extended. It's one of those things where like, if you got to the summer and you were like, here, let's say this thing sucks in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Let's say they get to the playoffs and like, it's just obvious they do not have enough. The fit isn't good enough. The rebounding gimmick falls apart in the playoffs and they lose in the first round again, right? And then Giannis is available next offseason. Now, once again, you're competing with a lot more people, right? Because then it's like a lot more options open up for Giannis trades.
Yeah.
But you can then offer like Jabari, Amen, the Phoenix picks. Do you want to speed your timeline?
Okay, the Phoenix picks are. I keep forgetting they have Phoenix picks too. Like, Although, don't they have the front end of the Phoenix picks? Because those might not be great, to be totally honest.
No, I think they have a bunch of Phoenix picks.
Because don't Brooklyn have some of them? Right?
They have far out Phoenix picks. It's not like this year.
Right. This is what I'm saying though, but I think the ones that the Rockets have are the sooner ones. I think they're like they have like 26 and 28 or something like that. Or
I mean, I still am like, I'm not doing the thing where I go, oh, the Suns are fine. Like, I still think that thing's good. Fall out on that.
It's not good, but I just don't think that I don't think the Sun like flattened lottery odds, yada yada yada. I just think that we're more likely to see the Suns be like kind of like in like the 7th, 8th worst odds range. You know, you can still get a top pick from that, but I just don't think that they're ever going to be bad enough.
27 and 29. 29 Suns pick is a very valuable.
That's 29 is pretty good. Yeah,
it's a very good pick.
I mean, Booker will still be there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm sorry, I'm not falling for 20 games of them being like the fun, scrappy, competitive team.
I'm not saying they're making the play. I'm not saying they're making the playoffs. I'm just saying by having Devin Booker, you're automatically not going to be the Wizards and the Hornets, like, or the Nets.
In 30, how old is Devin Booker? 30.
30. But how about this? Kawhi Leonard is 34. You know,
are we sure Devin Booker is going to be on the Suns in 3 years?
We aren't necessarily, but they could get, when they trade him, they would get, you know, young players and some other things.
That's an incredible asset in my mind.
Giannis, like, especially if they're trading Giannis, the Bucks are going to be worse and the Clippers are going to be worse for like the foreseeable future. Not to mention, like, the Kings seem to be in a death spiral.
Still, if you're ranking like the top picks that you could get available in a trade, I would put like that Pelicans pick this year.
Pelicans.
I would put that 2029 Suns pick with the Sixers, because the Clippers pick is what you talked about.
I would rather have the Clippers pick.
I get it. I understand that. And I think that the league wants Clippers picks now because that's a bird in the hand, right? Yeah. Where it's like, oh, cool, they're definitely going to be bad this year and next year. And so the ones that the Thunder have are like incredibly valuable. And by the way, a lot of people have talked about this. I've talked about it. People keep saying, oh, that's from the Paul George trade. It's actually from the second James Harden trade where he went to the Clippers because they dipped back down to essentially extend that window a little bit further. Those two picks are really valuable. My concern with LA free agency, cap space, Ballmer having more money than God is that within a few years, the Clippers can get themselves back. They're not going to be good. Like I said this earlier. Here are the top 5 teams in the West right now. Are there any teams here that the Clippers could possibly catch? The Thunder, the Lakers, the Rockets, the Spurs, the Nuggets, and the Timberwolves.
Sorry, that who could catch?
That the Clippers could catch in the next like 2 years from now. Even the Suns. Like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to say is like the top 6 to me until we get like, I don't know, a Jokic surprise retirement or what random thing that happens. Those top 5, let's just say top 5 up through so Nuggets, Spurs, Rockets, Lakers, Thunder. That's like all guys either in their prime, young cores. Like it's going to be so hard to be a top 5 team in the West moving forward.
Yeah.
That I do think that these teams that are in that bottom to mid tier are going to have to make like massive leaps to compete with those teams in the future.
But this is also what I'm saying is I think a lot of especially smart front offices are going to look at that and be like, oh, we have no fucking shot. Let's tear this thing down to the studs and be sellers and like get picked. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be hard to be bad. And especially like, I think that it's going to be
always easy to be bad. You can figure out a way to be bad.
You can, but like, I'm just saying like.
Who struggled to figure out a way to be bad?
The Utah Jazz, because they keep getting fined for it.
Okay. Sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, the Utah Jazz, once again, like in a protected pick scenario where they owe another team a pick, it's problematic. In a scenario where these lottery odds are flattened, I don't think it matters nearly as much.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter like as much. Like that's the thing. But that's the other problem with like trading for picks and trying to value these picks is you don't fucking know.
Yeah,
and you kind of have to. It's why I think after the season, but before draft night trades are going to get more common because I think guys are going to want to know what they're trading for.
Right. And once again, that Pelicans pick is really the only one that's out there that people are like talking about as potentially, really valuable. But once again, it could fall to 9 and be not that valuable. And then we just traded away Giannis for.
I just don't know why I'm in a rush from the Hawks. I know we already talked about them, but why am I trading that pick?
Sure. Yes. I get that. Yeah. I actually had a thought. So like there are a few teams that own the Bucks draft capital. It's Portland owns some of it. The Pelicans own some of it.
Yeah.
And the disaster trade that someone brought up to me, and I don't know why I didn't think of this. The disaster from the perspective of the Pelicans, and I'm sorry to our Pelicans people.
They needed another get kicked in the ground a little more.
We're gonna be in New Orleans, so I'm gonna keep this as brief as possible. You should come to New Orleans with us if you can.
Yes,
I'm gonna keep this as brief as possible, but there is a scenario where the Bucks can get their picks back and the Pelicans make their win now move and the Knicks get Giannis and Karl Anthony Towns goes to the Pelicans.
Oh man. Okay, I'll say this. Like, okay, it's not a good trade. It would be bad. I would say I would be appointment viewing to watch the Karl Anthony Towns,
Derek Queen.
Yeah, I would be fascinated by that.
Because one thing that we haven't gotten to that we will get to here is Zion, which is that. I
forgot. Yeah.
So Zion is basically done with the Pelicans. It seems like he just gave up mid-season.
We're on a text thread with our friends Andrew and Richard. Richard has been on the podcast before, and like, man, Pelicans fans are God's strongest shoulders, man. Like
it's grim.
It's grim. It's so grim.
Fears and Queen are fucking awesome to watch, though.
They're fun. At least that's what it's really all about. As long as you have good young players, you can kind of survive anything.
You could cope through your way through anything for sure. But
you learned that last year with McCain.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, we've had to do it forever. I guess that's the thing that people have. Giannis they're not trading Jalen Brunson in the Giannis trade. We've talked about the backstabbing move in the, how terrible that would be from a optics perspective, even though I'm low key, like, I think I might kind of do this. Knicks fans they'll kill me if they hear me say this. But I mean, I've been on record that I don't think that the Giannis and Brunson fit is as good as people think it would be.
Very good at all.
But the talent is just so talented that they probably win the East. Like, it's like, to me, it's like, yeah, I guess. But like, then again, you're taking away some of your role players. The point, it's beyond the point here. Most of the teams that can trade for Giannis, a team like the Pelicans, the reason I bring them up was basically the Zion thing is like, he's almost just like salary filler at this point.
Yeah.
Where
he's got that football contract.
He's got a football contract.
Yeah.
I know people say like, well, they could trade. I don't think he has any real value. I think he's just a contract that is moved in a trade because not only does he never play, but like he hasn't really looked like himself quite this year. He has some horrific allegations off the court that I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know if that will continue to, persist in this conversation as well. But this is like, they could do Zion, the Bucks picks back to the Bucks and get Cat, and then the Bucks get whoever else it does to make that trade work.
God damn, dude.
I don't think it's likely to be clear, but we know that they want to make a win now trade And I think they have 2 Bucks picks.
God, Troy Weaver unlocking, using his key again, pushing the corpse of Dumars. Dumars is the Weekend at Bernie's. He's got the 2 phones over his eyes instead of the sunglasses. His corpse. It's just Troy Weaver animating him the fucking the thing. That would be. I will say, Cat. Giving up Zion and 2 Bucks picks for Cat is the most fucking Troy Weaver coded.
I mean, they just traded for the Jordan Poole contract. A contract that I was like, there's no way anyone's ever going to trade for that. And then they traded an expiring contract for it.
That is I mean, CJ is ass. I know that I said that. And then he had 47 or whatever he had the other night. But he is bad, but also Jordan Poole is also bad. So
also his contract is 2 years longer?
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the Lakers fit? Did you have the Lakers on there?
All right. So I had a few long shot teams.
Okay.
The Lakers, let's just talk about the Lakers wrinkle real quick, which is there's actually a very funny wrinkle because there's one other team I actually think should do it, and I'm going to save them for last.
Okay. We're not trading Jaylen Brown.
I have them on my long shots too. No, I didn't even have the Sixers. I had the Celtics on my
Really? Yeah. I didn't have the Celtics on my.
I had the Celtics and the Blazers as my long shot teams. But
Blazers is interesting. We'll talk about that.
So the Lakers, they're actually in a funny scenario where they realistically could have made this trade if Austin Reeves was on a normal contract.
Oh, but because it's a scam contract, there's not enough money.
No, because he's a unrestricted free agent after the season. And if he goes, I don't want to play for the Bucks, then he could get traded there and just walk.
They didn't figure out his extension?
He can't get extended because of the money.
Oh my God.
So he makes $18 million a year or whatever.
I didn't know that. I wasn't keeping track of that at all.
So they offered him his max deal back then. Remember Bill got mad because the Spurs never threw a contract at Reeves.
Yeah.
And was like, if the Spurs threw a contract at him, the Lakers wouldn't have been able to match. They could have gotten Austin Reeves. The Lakers would have been fucked, right? So they gave, and Bill was right. He was cooking.
Bill cooked on that one. Yeah.
So they gave the Lakers gave him the most amount of money they possibly could, but because he's become such a better player, his percentage extension is way below what he would get if he hit free agency, right? If he hit free agency right now, he's getting $45 million a year. He's been one of the 10 to 15 best players in the NBA so far this year. He's very squarely in the middle of his prime, clearly good with Luka, without Luka. I think that would be amazing. If Giannis became available, they could trade for Giannis and have Luka and Giannis on the same team. But because Austin Reeves, and the only way this scenario works is if Austin Reeves goes, I would be fine with going to Milwaukee, which I would be surprised if that did happen. But you could do Reeves, Rui, and by the way, that's such a risk if you're the Bucks. If another team just throws him a max, and then because by the way, you want to talk about best players they could possibly get. In a normal scenario, Austin Reeves would be the best player they could get.
He's really good. Yeah.
He's legitimately one of the, I had him in the 50s when we did our player rankings. He would be skyrocketing.
I was lower on him, but he's been balling the fuck out this season. So yeah. Now, is that a Luka thing?
No,
but I've been good without him. Yeah. It's the Brunson thing all over.
I was going to say someone said he's basically tall Brunson now where he just, is good with or without Luka. And the thing I'm trying to get at here, you could make the salary work there. The Lakers would only have 2 good players after this because I don't know what the fuck's going on with LeBron right now, but LeBron is very old. And technically you could do a LeBron 3-teamer if he gets sent somewhere. And then Reeves goes there with whatever picks you have left. But the Lakers are just, this is very zombie movie. I don't want to say they're dead until they're fully dead, but the Lakers getting Giannis just does not seem realistic. I would have said the exact same thing before they got Luka.
Yeah, I was just going to say, do we have to keep an eye on Pelinka, who's seemingly some sort of, I think Pelinka is the personification of America, where he's incredibly stupid, but yet it works out for him just like through sheer like natural like resources and just dumb luck. So like I could absolutely. He is Job, like straight up. Like, we've talked about this with Harry. Well, I mean, we've talked about this before. Like, but he is like, I don't know. I feel like the Lakers. I feel like there's the LeBron piece is interesting because it's like, what if? Because do we even know where LeBron wants to go? Would he like want to go back?
Hold on, before we continue there, I have a prime opportunity for a bit here. Okay. Is he Job from Arrested Development? This. Come on. How much could it cost to trade for Giannis?
Look, he wants to fly to Greece. We've got Greece over here. Japan, the Greece of the Eastern Hemisphere.
Or is he John Hamm in the episode of 30 Rock, where everyone's just really nice to him all the time because he's good looking?
Yeah.
And people just bend over and give him whatever he wants.
I think that is kind of like what happens.
I figured there might have been a millennial TV reference here that was better for that. And I think it might be
it's got to be like something like that. Like he's I don't know. He's something. I genuinely am like fascinated by like.
I'm sorry. It ain't easy being broad.
It ain't easy being Luca. That's a really good bit. Good millennial.
Fantastic.
Hey, where'd the guy go? Where'd the Rui go?
So the team that I once again I am scared of the Lakers, pulling it out of nowhere once again.
Yeah,
but
Lucille Bluth.
I do think that like I've kind of died on the hill that like you can't just have two good players and win the championship anymore. Like we've seen this time and time again, right? And I'm sure Luka and Giannis would figure out a way to maximize as much as they possibly could, even though.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, and I don't want to like breathe this into them. JJ Redick might be like baby Spo, dude. Like
he's a great coach. No, I definitely think he's very clearly a very good coach. Yeah. But I also think that like when you watch their games, it's very obvious when teams have specific game plans for them. It's not. This isn't like a JJ thing. It is weird because they're trying to reintegrate LeBron in. And it's early in the season, and like I've said before, like I just think the role players are not good. But it does feel like the Suns the other night, like they basically just had a game plan to be like super aggressive and make it so that Luka just could score in isolation as much as he wanted. And it kind of broke Luka's brain where he was like, wait, why are you just letting me score and not getting anyone else involved? And then he tried to force it to get everyone else involved, and then they turned the ball over a ton. So like, I do think that there is like, to me, I don't see this Lakers team as a good playoff team. No. I think they're a really good regular season team because of their creators. Yeah. I think that they're being dragged by Reeves and Luka, and then once LeBron's up to speed, maybe LeBron, even though I will say, I know I've said this many times before, it's come back to bite me. He just does not look.
No.
He looks like he got blocked twice the other night on jump shots when I was watching. I was like, LeBron getting blocked? What is this?
I mean, he is like 41.
I'm aware, but he's also superhuman. Like, even when LeBron looked slow or old before, I never saw him like getting his shot sent. You know what I mean?
Right.
All I'm saying is that I want to keep an eye on the LeBron thing because like him and JJ are beefing like a little bit on the court. I don't know if you saw that the other night.
No, that's funny.
But LeBron was talking to the Suns bench and JJ had to call a timeout and was like pissed about it while they were getting blown
JJ
out.
Room.
Yeah. But we'll see. I wouldn't be shocked if LeBron does end up getting moved, but I have a harder time finding a LeBron trade than I do a Giannis trade. Let's talk about the team I think should trade for Giannis and has not really been mentioned at all. The Cleveland Cavaliers should trade for Giannis, dude. I'm sorry. Get Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is the best player you could get if you're the Bucks. You can build something there.
Are we sure Evan Mobley is good, first of all?
I literally have been saying all season, like, I'm shocked by how little he's in. Once again, he's more normal mentally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Than this player I'm about to name, but it is very reminiscent of the 2021 Ben Simmons season.
It's a little alarming, dude. They lost to us twice.
Yeah.
Like, they've lost to the Raptors 3 times. Like,
yeah. Once again, Mobley is. I went on a rant about him on a Patreon episode we did, and a lot of people got annoyed with me. And I was just like, my expectation for Evan Mobley that he was just clearly going to be one of the 10 to 15 best players in the NBA, right? And I've never come away from a game watching Evan Mobley being like, man, he really dominated that game from start to finish. And occasionally you'll get a stretch, and occasionally you'll catch a really good shooting game, but like, he's not a creator. He has to have play set up for him, which is why when they have elite guard play, he's really good on offense. You take one of those guys off, specifically Garland, and he struggles. And when Garland's out, he really does not. And he's a really, really good defender. I know he won Defensive Player of the Year last year, and he was one of the best defenders in the NBA. He's clearly very good. But the flaws are kind of on display in a way that I at this point, I would have figured he worked out a few of the kinks in his game and became a better player than he is. Right? The way that he gets talked about, dude, like I heard podcasts in the preseason being like long shot for MVP. I'm like, are we watching the same player?
That's the grace we give to young players. You're talking about cookies. I'm talking about cookies. Literally, Cam Newton. I need a Cam Newton Evan Mobley.
Like, the Cam Newton video was my entire timeline yesterday. I was like, this is kind of, I can't remember. The last time I remember a meme being that big was the Pops video.
Yeah.
And they were just AIing him into everything.
When's the last time we've had a sports podcast clip do numbers like that? Like, the other one I can think of is you have no idea how good Tim Duncan was. Oh my God. Like that's the most recent one. But like, that's like, this is the first time like there's been like a first take style show has had juice like in a long time.
Yep. Oh no. Giannis just got hurt.
Oh no.
Non-contact.
Oh no.
No way. Don't tell me we just did this whole podcast just for Giannis to be out now.
Oh, that's
a very selfish way of me putting it. Oh no,
dude, are you kidding me, dude?
Don't tell me that was an Achilles.
That
he just slipped on a wet spot.
Oh.
Is he grabbing at his Achilles?
It's hard to tell.
Well, anyone who's listening to this in the future will be able to tell us whether it's.
Yeah, you can know exactly what it was.
I'm gonna fucking kill myself, dude. I'm sorry.
The real victim of this.
You don't understand. You guys don't understand. We just built all this time in here. I do not have time to edit. I have a lot of things going on in my personal life right now. God damn it, Giannis, please be okay.
He's fine.
For the sake of this.
All right, he walked off slowly. Dude, you got to be kidding me. It really doesn't look good, man.
Okay, all right. Let's just pretend that didn't happen.
All right, we're pretending. We're pretending.
That would be literally the most fun. We post this, and then everyone's like, "Didn't they know that he tore his Achilles?" Why did they care about this?
Every reply is fucking Paul Dano, Batman.
Does he know?
Does he know?
Jesus Christ.
We just have to make that we just have to okay, here's the branding. We do the Paul Dano does he know for the episode on the general release, and it says alternate timeline where Giannis doesn't get hurt. just make that the whole
We're doing the multiverse on
multiverse not Giannis Slop edit. We all agree that the people who are suffering most right now is not Giannis and his possibly career-changing injury. It is about me and Trill, specifically,
and Leon Rose.
Yeah, podcasters.
But yeah, let's just get through the long shot teams I had, which were the the
Cavs is a great call. They should absolutely do that. Like
the Cavs are the team where I'm like, I just think this team has reached a ceiling.
Yeah.
And you have an opportunity to trade for one of the greatest players of all time, who's still very good. And the Donovan Mitchell Now, the thing that you could push back on is like, would you have to trade Garland and Mobley? And then it's like Jared Allen, Giannis, Donovan Mitchell, and a bunch of guys. And you kind of just saw that with Dame and Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the pushback, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Something. I think it would be.
It would probably be Kuzma and Giannis for Garland, Mobley, and whatever salary filler.
Yeah, like DeAndre Hunter or something like that, or
because they don't
want DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah, they don't
know what their salary is.
Yeah,
they don't have picks. Do they still not have picks? They feel like they've given the Jazz a lot of.
That's true. That's true. They probably have a few far out ones they could do.
Yeah.
So if they could keep Garland in that situation and do Mobley, Jalen Tyson, whatever. There maybe the problem.
Jalen Tyson's an interesting one. I would want to get him.
I like Jalen Tyson as like a nice fifth starter type guy.
That's what I'm saying. He's not like a useful. I'm just saying like I would
not a needle mover by any
means. For sure.
But like if you're just throwing him in, like once again, I don't know if the Cavs would be good enough after they made that trade, but that Mitchell and Giannis, if Mitchell buys into playing off the ball more, it's an interesting concept. I'm trying to think.
I can't believe
if that's probably the best case scenario if you're the Bucks and you want to remain competitive, right? If you got Mobley and Garland.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, no, if you wanted to remain competitive, I think they would probably try to like flip Garland, maybe keep Mobley. How old's Mobley? Mobley's 23, 24?
Yeah, he's like 23.
He's young enough, I feel like you could keep Mobley and kind of build around him. Garland, I know Garland's not that much older, but just because he's like a smaller
like
guard.
25. Yeah. I mean, you don't care if you by the way, I don't think you care if you're the Bucks. Like yeah. I just mean like you're not making the playoffs next year or the next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're probably like a fringe play-in team at that point, and you just have to worry about like keeping your team like relatively competitive.
My thing with the Bucks though is like again, this is what I was like trying to get out of the other thing is like the fact that they waive and stretch Dame is like very fucking damaging for them. And like I think you want to front load being like bad.
The next 2 years.
Yeah, they're like the next 2 or 3 years. But like it really just maximize that because like there's no way you're going to be good with whatever it is, $25 million of dead salary on the books every year. Like,
yeah,
it's tough.
Once again, if there was a way for them to get their picks back and they could just go into the tank. That's why Atlanta getting New Orleans involved in a trade. And by the way, the next team I'm going to bring up, the other long shot team I want to talk about, Portland, is a team that has a lot of weird pieces right now. The problem with Portland is very similar. It's a different version of what the Rockets' problem is. The Rockets' problem is they have no one to match salary right now.
Yeah.
Portland's problem is they're not very good right now. Like they're like
they just don't have like a blue chip prospect.
It's not even that to me. To me, it's more that because they have the ability to give the Bucks a few picks back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is
saying
I did see the irony in this. Giannis and Dame back together, especially both of them post Achilles now. Is this what we're all doing again?
Oh no.
So, but in all seriousness, they have the ability. They have some of the Bucks picks, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, that's a good point.
From the Dame trade. Now it's only 2 picks a few years out. Maybe the Bucks say, "Fuck it, we don't care that much about controlling our future draft capital or whatever." I don't necessarily know, like Denny, if they were willing to include Denny in the trade, because you want to talk about some of the best players you can get.
I mean, he's the best player on their team, probably.
And imagine that team, but with Giannis instead of Denny. Jeremy Grant,
I would
Denny,
want Klingon.
Bucks picks back.
I would want Klingon.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't think Portland would fight me on that.
I don't think Portland would be good enough is the problem if they trade Klingon. Because I don't know if you've seen their bench, but their bench is very bad. They're playing Caleb.
That's what the Robert Williams is for.
Exactly. You just brought up my point. Robert,
have you seen his per 36 stats this year, Trill?
Then your center stats would be your center rotation would be Duop Reith, who we love, Rob Williams, who we love, and Hansen Young, who might be. I won't call him the worst player in NBA history because Janai Broom is on the Sixers, and I am literally throwing up every time he's on the court. But I don't think you can bank on that being your center rotation if you're trading for Giannis at 30 years old. But I do think that the picks element, actually the team, the one that someone brought up earlier, the trade where they send some of the Bucks picks for Bam, that's more interesting to me only because mainly due to the fact that Dame and Bam are like boys. And like there might be some connection there. Portland probably isn't a market that's going to take a swing on a Giannis level player. They might take a swing on a Bam level player.
Maybe.
Just throwing this out.
I don't know if they have the guards to play. Well, I guess they've got Drew, and they would kind of. You're squeezing your young guys for the Unk squad. Like Shaedon Sharpe is not. I'm a little disappointed with Shaedon Sharpe this year. Like
they can't trade Shaedon either.
Yeah, like
even if a team wanted him,
they don't really. They're like one of the only. I mean, it's not a bad problem to have because there's lots of guards in the NBA. Like they're one of the only teams.
Did forget Scoot, who I don't know if he's involved in this trade or not.
Scoot's.
I'm just saying, yeah. Scoot, Denny, and Grant, I think would work contractually. Sending back the Bucks picks, it's interesting.
It's in. I would want Klingon if I'm trading Giannis, and I maybe that's where the deal gets jammed up, and maybe it's a little too rich for Portland's blood at that time. And it's just kind of. And then we get back to what you were bringing up earlier, where it's like you got to be so good to crack the top 5 in the West.
That's why I think Giannis wants to stay in the East.
Yeah, as he should.
So I would say so then my final teams I think have a real shot at acquiring Giannis. Mm-hmm. Apparently he strained his calf. So
okay.
They would know if he tore his Achilles. Although that has been reported as a calf strain before.
I was going to say, I don't know.
But I'm pretty sure they would, But I just want to throw this out there. The three teams I think that have a realistic chance, the Knicks because Giannis wants to go there, and maybe they can maneuver some money, throw it around the league, get back a lot of stuff for their guys. Even though it's beyond the point. It's Giannis, they'll just trade for him, whatever. I would say Miami probably 2. And I will say the Hawks probably 3. I don't think he's going to end up in the West. The only team I think that might have the balls to do it is maybe the Spurs.
Yeah, I think the Spurs are the most realistic. But like again, I think the Harper thing is kind of the sticking point. Like if the Spurs could get Giannis without giving up Harper, I think they should do that.
I guess we didn't talk about the Pistons, but I don't think that. To me, the Pistons are another team that I have a hard time seeing them. They would have to trade Jalen Duren.
I don't think that's
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do it.
I don't think that's. They shouldn't fuck with a good thing, especially with how bad.
With how long they've suffered.
Yeah, like I would not.
That's one of the few markets I understand. Like, can we just give the fans something to root for a little
just
bit?
Hands off. Yeah. Hands off our Jalen Duren.
So let's talk about a few other things. Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot that every torn Achilles is originally reported as a calf strain. Yeah. Please tell me he did not fucking tear his Achilles. That would
the
be
non-contact looked pretty bad, and he reacted like it was a torn Achilles, dude. Which is not great.
He literally had the same face as Dame.
Yeah, it's not.
Dude, the NBA is a blood sport, bro.
It's Kuzma has resting out Giannis. Kuzma has to watch. Poor Bucks fans, man. Like that's because I mean, like if that's so.
Wait, he walked off, but was he under his own power?
This has happened before, though.
It's pretty rare you walk off under your own. Kobe's the only one I can remember that walked off and was not. He's the only one ever, though. Dame was helped off. Halliburton was helped off. Kevin Durant was helped off. Tatum was helped off. The fact that I have that many that I can just name off the top of my head.
Man. I don't. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
I don't think he tore his Achilles, but so
did you see what Will said that Matt was like,
I saw it. I'm not going to talk about it on the podcast.
Okay, fair enough.
So
it made me laugh.
Let's move on to Jesus Christ. The internet is full of psychics. Someone just sent in, what if Giannis plays tonight and tears his Achilles?
Oh, no.
If that actually
Come
happens.
on. Come on, man.
This is perverted. The Clippers, they're doing well. They defeated fascism today. They took down our guy, Chris Paul. They hung him in the Mussolini upside down.
That is, I can't believe like the fact that like every like bit of reporting on that story, because it's very clear like Chris Paul was like saying this to everyone, but like also like how are you guys letting like a 41-year-old boss you around in your own organization, and like you have to like fire him basically is such a crazy.
They signed Chris. Who knows Chris Paul better than the Clippers?
That's what I'm saying. How are you not surprised? Like he was in the building for 8 years. You know he's like a little fucking psycho. How are you surprised by this?
They literally were like, we should sign Chris Paul. And then the second there's any adversity, he acts like Chris Paul. Then they're just, once again, they got mad at him for being him when they knew they were signing him in the first place. This is very obviously something where he got into it with multiple coaches or players. Apparently him and Ty Lue were not talking for like a week or something along those lines, which honestly, I do think that part of it might've been the fact that they were benching him, but like he's fully washed and probably has not accepted that yet. Obviously, the last time we were talking about it, we were talking about him announcing his retirement after the season. Like this was his last year. It was incredible to watch him play and be like, yeah, he does not have it. And then him immediately be like, I'm out. And then he gets cut a week later. What is going on, dude? That organization is a fucking fever dream.
They're so awesome, dude. Yeah. Apparently he had a fight with an assistant coach. He didn't understand that, like, he didn't do it the way Joe Mazzulla did, where you literally fist fight your assistant coach. That's what you have to do to
earn their respect.
Yeah.
So once again, the Chris Paul thing is, I think this is it. What other team is signing Chris Paul? Now they sent him home because they technically can't waive him.
Yeah, I guess is
no, they can't waive him because of the aprons. They have to wait to either salary dump him or wait until a certain date and then they can waive him.
Why not? Because they don't have enough roster spots filled?
No, they don't have enough room to waive him or something along those lines. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. Yeah. What I'm trying to say here is that they literally had to send him home for an extended period of time. And now they basically just have to wait and see what happens with him. And I don't think there's another team that is willing to do this.
No.
I don't think there's a team that's out there that will sign him. Yeah, maybe OKC opens up a roster spot at the deadline and signs him because of Shea as the 15th man.
I wouldn't want that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just like an old annoying guy now.
There you
go.
They're 1.2 million below the first 8 point. So waiving Chris Paul frees up no cap space, which makes it replacing him extremely difficult. They'll likely wait this out until 12/15, so 2 weeks until Paul becomes trade eligible.
I just don't understand why. Like you just carry 14 guys. Like they must have a roster hold or something like that.
They probably could carry 14 guys, but because they're so close to the first apron and they want to avoid that, they just want to wait because it makes it easier.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess you might as well. Like, there's no point in waiving him. Like,
I'm not even kidding. There were multiple Sixers fans that were like, "We should sign Chris Paul," and I'm like, "He is 40 years old, 41."
Yeah,
he's 41. We already have Kyle Lowry.
Also, if you watched him this year, he's bad. I'm sorry. Like,
we have Kyle Lowry taking up an empty roster spot.
Yeah, exactly. You guys don't need a second fucking coach roster spot. You already have one.
By the way, funniest thing possible. Yeah. And at least Lowry's like a cool guy to have around.
Yeah. Like, Lowry's like fun. Like,
yeah. He's like the fun uncle. Fucking
Chris Paul's telling you like, tuck your jersey in and shit. Like,
someone tweeted at me and said they're trying to take the CP at a CP3. You can't do that.
It's just 3.
So the they're hard capped at the first apron as well. But I was just laughing at that as if the Sixers need another. But I don't know if you're aware of this fact. Kyle Lowry has played 2 games this year so far. Played in 2 games.
Okay.
Both of them were against the Brooklyn Nets.
That's amazing. That's so good.
He actually, and once again, I'm not saying Kyle Lowry is good at all. I was shocked that he was able to function the last time he played 11 minutes, and I was like, oh my God, look at him go out there.
Look at him.
Like I was kind of proud of him.
That's awesome. Everyone's getting excited about it. Help with Kyle Lowry. Do you think the Sixers fans want to bring Chris Paul in so he can bow down to Paul God?
Finally bow down to the true Paul God.
The true Paul God.
Yeah, there you go. Actually, that would be good for the locker room if Chris Paul came in and then just complained about Kyle Lowry doing the Amazon job on
that would be awesome.
Maybe we could get Lowry out of here. That'd be perfect. We need some discipline. We need structure. So before we get out of here, let's run through a few teams I think will make trades at this deadline. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
The Clippers, I mean, they gotta do, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What are they gonna do?
Well, they're either going to blow it up and trade Harden.
Okay, that's the thing. Harden is the only
Zubac.
one. Oh, I guess Zubac. You were telling me, Trill and I ruined a perfectly good Friendsgiving function discussing whether or not Zubac was washed.
He just fell off a cliff this offseason.
Yeah.
He's just fully washed. So Zubac has not been as good this year, but also, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm just I think that he had a really great year last year and set expectations super high for himself. And I think the team is kind of a mess this year. To me, I'm kind of looking at this Clippers season with their guys like the Sixers last year, where I'm just like, I wouldn't judge anyone too negatively or positively based on this wreck of a season that they're having, where they can't seem to keep, guys on the court. And then when guys are on the court, they're looking a little bit older and maybe a little bit more washed than we had originally anticipated. Harden would certainly have trade value.
Yeah.
Zubac would certainly have trade value. Kawhi, it's more of a challenge trade thing, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
And then they could probably trade guys like Derek Jones Jr., Chris Dunn. If anything, I don't know if you've seen the Clippers fans who have reversed the bit now, and they're celebrating the fact they're going to give the Thunder the #1 pick in the draft.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's a good fit.
They're just like, we've wrecked the league. They're now
we ruined the league. Yeah, that's awesome.
The Paul George trade ruined the fucking league. And another thing that we might have discussed this in person the other night, which was the thing that I always harp on the fact, like, why didn't they just trade Paul George for James Harden? Why did they do that for 60 games of those two guys together?
Yeah.
And then let Paul George walk after the season, and then they got one good season out of it last year. The thing that I always forget, the Sixers had a trade lined up where they were going to flip Terrence Mann for a first-round pick. The Clippers said, no, we're not trading Terrence Mann.
Awesome.
Which is why they're giving up the swap to OKC next year, because the Sixers won an extra second-round pick or first-round pick. They had to go get one from OKC, which cost them a swap. So the swap that's going to them next year is because they didn't want to trade Terrence Mann, who they then extended and salary dumped within a year.
God damn, dude.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah. I don't. The Clippers are bumming me out. Like, I'm just gonna. This is what I expected to happen to them last year, and then it just didn't happen. Like,
then Uno just played at like this insane level and lifted up all the boats around him. Yeah. And you can only do it for so long. The West is too good. Yeah. The league is too deep. With, like, I'm not just talking about like the depth of teams. I'm talking about like the depth of talent. Like, teams have like a lot of young athletic guys who run a ton and are going to tire out these older, slower teams. And honestly, like the few guys I think that would have trade value would be the guys I mentioned. I think Chris Dunn and Derek Jones Jr. could have trade value. Not like real trade value, but like could get you seconds.
Well, it's good. The good news is the Clippers have always been really good at finding marginal young talent.
Exactly. Yeah, they just got to ride this out. They're fucked. Like, I mean, their way of doing this is basically clearing as much off the books as they possibly can, trying to reset this thing in the next 2 off seasons when they have some cap space and go from there.
Yeah.
This is going to be the first free agency since 2019 where we have a lot of guys hitting free agency. Do you know that?
No, I didn't know.
I'm not saying they're necessarily guys that people want, but there's a lot of guys like Trae Young's an unrestricted free agent if he opts out, which he might opt in. Porzingis, Quentin Grimes, I think DeMar DeRozan is technically Harden as a player option on his contract. Levine technically does. Austin Reeves. There's a lot of free agents this offseason. Kelly Oubre, exactly. There's a lot of free agents this offseason, potentially. Although I think guys like Levine and Trae might end up opting in to their contracts. But I do think that it is. I think that there will be a depth of free agents like we haven't seen in some time. I don't think that's going to do anything for the Clippers, to be honest with. Like, maybe Trae Young could go there and they could start building a decent team around him. But if I were the Clippers, I would blow this thing to smithereens at the deadline, reset, hope to come back in the offseason, and then try to make a competitive team for 2 years from now. Because OKC is getting lottery picks the next 2 years with their picks.
I need the Usman Garuba. Everyone, get in. We're getting the Usman Garuba prayer circle going.
Do you mean Usman Jang?
Usman Jang, sorry.
Another draft bust that has the same name or similar name. It's Usman and Usman Main.
Usman Jang, yes.
Yes. But
what's funny is I actually kind of like that pick for OKC. I was like, "Ooh, nice swing."
I know. I went back and I rewatched the draft, and it was very funny that of the 2 wings that were taken back to back with OKC, you were like, "I like the Zhang pick," and then Jalen Williams was the next pick.
It's good. I kind of liked Jalen Williams in this pick. I just didn't see the All-NBA Jalen Williams coming.
No. Yeah. I was drunk on that draft stream, and I said. My exact words were, I like Jalen Williams and I think he's going to be good because I wanted him to fall to the Sixers.
Right. I remember that. I remember you wanted him for the Sixers.
Yeah. I really wanted him for the Sixers, but we were also picking at 21 or something and he got picked at 13.
Yeah.
But I said during that stream, I like him, but he has bus face. He just looks like a guy.
You're not wrong, by the way.
He looks like a guy that would not be good in the NBA, just looking at him. And then he's kind of Tony Snell coded a little bit. I was going to say, I projected onto his brother who came into the draft a few years later.
Yeah.
Apparently. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just a little too early with the Williams brothers. But
I think it's the eyes. He does kind of have Tony Snell eyes.
Well, Cody Williams was famously, Kev called him New Age Tony Snell. And I actually think that's very offensive to Tony Snell.
Yeah, that's disrespect. Tony Snell was a real player for a while. The meme, Tony Snell is kind of disrespected by that meme, dude. The Kuzma, we should use the Kuzma meme.
Tony Snell could at least shoot. I don't know if Cody Williams could shoot.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of the Jazz, did you see the Jazz thing from Jake Fisher where he was like,
no.
He was basically like, he wouldn't be surprised if at this, he didn't say exactly this deadline, but he said he thinks they're more likely to build a core around Lauri Markkanen than to trade away Lauri Markkanen.
Oh, get a fucking job. They need to get a job. Everyone in the Jazz front office needs to get a job. Shut up. No, you're not. Shut up. God, I'm so annoyed that I let the rat bastard Danny Ainge fool me into thinking he was going to do a good job. Ridiculous, absurd. He doesn't care about the Utah Jazz. He cares about BYU. He literally, it's a made up job so he can funnel money into BYU is what he's really doing there.
So he can keep their football coach away from Penn State.
Literally. Tell me Danny Ainge isn't just doing everything for BYU. Tell me he's not the shadow GM of BYU.
Well, we'll see. I mean, they would be so basically. I think this is above Ainge, to be honest with you. So the thing with this owner is this owner bought the team around the time that they hired Ainge.
right.
like a year or two before.
Right.
And he loved like Jordan Clarkson, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. He didn't want to trade those guys.
Yeah.
And I put all those three players in the same bucket as if like they're on the same level. Hall of Famers. Like,
well, I do remember them like loving Jordan Clarkson.
Oh yeah, he was their guy.
Yeah,
he was their guy.
Yeah.
So the reason I say this is because he didn't want to trade those guys away, and Ainge convinced him to do it. Ainge was like, Donovan Mitchell's going to want out. Rudy Gobert's old. We can sell, at the highest point of both of their values, and we'll rebuild this thing and we'll turn ourselves into a contender in a few years, right? So the owner's basically like, all right, it's been 3 years since we made that trade and we still suck. Like, can we get good now? Like, that's basically what he's saying. But they owe OKC this top 8 protected pick this year, and they're kind of like you said, I don't think they're going to struggle to be bad if they really want to be. Like I've said, they have many outs, right? You could just be like, hey, Ace Bailey, you're our main creator. And like, honestly, might be good for him long-term just to kind of learn on the fly and not be playing in this role that makes a lot of sense for him right now as like an off-ball scoring wing. The point that I've been trying to say here is basically if they make a fucking win now trade at the deadline, I'm going to lose my mind, because then we're staring down the barrel of OKC having the Clippers pick, possibly the Utah pick if it falls outside of that top 8, and the Sixers pick, which the Sixers are mid, but it's possible it ends up in the lottery or in the late teens. Like I talked with Nick about this. They can't even roster those players.
No,
like, they're going to have to trade one of those picks away.
I've been saying this like about their like pick hoarding. Like, you can't. That was why I, all due respect to Kevin, I was like getting mad about like the idea. I was like, oh, they can't trade a bunch of guys for Giannis. It's like, well, actually, that would solve all of their problems. It's like they just spawned 3-and-D wings every year. Like what do you mean? OKC is the team that needs a consolidation trade the most of anyone, which is why they shouldn't do it. Don't do it, Sam Presti.
I was going to say, why are you asking them to do the thing you think would
ruin
the league?
I don't want them to do it. No, please don't.
My whole thing is like, I know it sounds absurd to say,
yeah,
because they're two of the three or four best players in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think SGA and Giannis are a good fit. Would it matter? No. Like, it would just be like, all right, we have two of the three best players in the NBA and we still have all these other guys. But I do think that and like they would just win anyway. They're probably gonna win anyway. Is my whole argument. You're gonna go super deep into the tax. You're gonna put SG like one. It's not worth talking about. I can't talk about the Thunder with you. Yeah, that's the thing, is that they would be in the second apron and then they can't make any moves from there. But
they wouldn't need to.
So yeah, I guess this would just be your window the next 2 years until Giannis walks in free agency. So the other teams I think will make trades almost forced to. The Kings have to make some kind of trade. That's their team's an abomination.
They're gonna make it worse, though. You understand? Like, it's not like it's gonna make more sense.
No,
whatever they do is gonna be a disaster. Also, like they finally got moved on from the Sabonis thing. Here's Vucevic and Patrick Williams.
They're just rebuilding the Bulls in Sacramento, a team that was a play-in team in a much worse conference.
It's like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Half decade ago.
There's that, and then there's also and then there's also the other option, which is they give up draft capital to go get Kuminga.
That's like so depressing that like I can't.
It's possible. I mean, they've been linked to him.
Dude, I would have just straight up like walked in front of a bus if I were a Kings fan. I'm not built for it. Like, even the concept of that, you saying that gave me such a like acute despair right now. Like, I can't get a therapist right now because my insurance won't give me one. Like, that would send me over the edge. Like, I just blue grippy socks check me into the I'd just be like, nope, that's it at that point. Like,
it would be like, I don't know if you remember this, but we were making fun of the Warriors for being like, why don't you just take Malik Monk and a pick, like even if it has a top 10 protection or whatever from the Kings, like whatever. And I'm like, they didn't do that because they were like, these motherfuckers are so stupid. We could just hit them back up at the deadline and get real shit. That's exactly why they did it.
Yeah.
They were like, we'll get like a haul at the deadline if we just wait.
That's so depressing. Who are they? Because you know how like you can usually kind of tell who's gonna make the trades by like who's got like the common trading partners. Yeah. Like for like the Hornets and the Heat always do trades.
Sure.
The Celtics and the Spurs always end up doing trades. Who are the Kings? I feel like you guys do. The Sixers do some trades.
Kings and the Spurs.
Kings and the Spurs. That's another one. Like who are there?
Keep in mind the De'Aaron Fox trade, the Harrison Barnes trade, which got them the pick swap that they didn't get back.
Kings
and Bulls.
Kings Bulls always be the two dumbest bitches telling each other exactly.
They're constant trading partners. If I were, I mean, once again, there are certain teams, and every time that one of these like Giannis trades or a Lakers related trade comes up or whatever, I look at franchises like the Kings and the Bulls, and they're basically doing what America's trying to do when they're just like invading Venezuela and like trying to like go to war and like extract all their natural resources. And, like basically, overthrow, even though they, like they want to install a puppet dictator and do the whole thing where they ruin and destabilize the whole region. And, you go through all of this for whatever. That's basically what NBA teams are doing to the smaller, more poorly run teams. They're just pillaging them for resources all the time and having everything flow upwardly to 4 teams.
I mean, that's literally why Dumars literally was installed as a fucking puppet.
Yeah.
Like to ruin the infrastructure of the country and sell it off to private interests, meaning a relocation to Las Vegas. Like
exactly. Yeah. They can't get expansion, so they're going to get it in some way.
Yeah. No, it was Nico Harrison, Juan Guaido.
He's innocent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, please don't go to fucking war with Venezuela, you fucking idiots.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I was also wrong about Trump getting reelected. So
I was going to say I had that. So for anyone who missed it, we did our worst takes in YKB, and my first one listed was "There's no way Trump wins again." Sam,
did I say no way or
no? You did not ever say that. Yeah. That. I was the one that was like, "Are you sure we're the dumbest country that's ever existed?"
It is like it's very funny to elect Trump. I mean, obviously horrible things happening everywhere. Just like murders on the news, just boats getting blown up, people getting disappeared by the new Gestapo. But it is like objectively pretty like funny about how stupid Americans are that we elected Donald Trump once. And then went back for more Donald Trump, like the fucking Yoda meme, dude. That is so stupid. Like we really are. We kind of deserve everything we get, man. Like honestly,
it is so fucking depressing. I mean, it's depressing to think about, but when it happened and everyone was shocked, I was like, I can't be shocked.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. Yeah, I wasn't.
There's no way I can ever be. After what happened, what has happened in this country in the last decade, there's just nothing that will surprise me anymore.
No, we're the dumbest country. I'm sorry.
We're always one-upping ourselves in the worst way possible. Anyway, do you think the Pistons will make a trade?
I don't. Zach Lowe's obsession with the Lauri Markkanen thing.
No, that's not happening.
Yeah,
that's not happening.
They should trade for Michael Porter Jr. I do think.
Although I will say, I listened to the potluck episode they had on Ringer NBA show where Zach went on. Mm-hmm. The way they were talking about Jaden Ivey, I was like, "Are we watching the same play?" Like,
I was gonna say, I figured you were gonna bring that up. Yeah.
I was just surprised that they were like, "Oh, well, this will obviously make them much better and unbeatable." And I'm like, I don't even know if Jaden Ivey's good. Like, I feel like he might just be bad.
I like Jaden Ivey more than you, but it's definitely been more. When I was listening to Zach, and he was like, and he's been really good. And I was like, I'm a Jaden Ivey guy, and he's been fine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he's been good. I don't know if I would say good. Yeah.
Yeah. I was very, very surprised to see that they were acting as if like Dennis Jenkins wasn't just better than Jaden Ivey has ever been for like 2 weeks. I'm just calling it how I see it, folks. I do think if the Pistons end up making a trade, it probably will be one of those more B level trades for sure. It won't be a Lowry Markkanen. It would be stupid to trade everything for Lowry Markkanen. I don't think they should do that.
Quick final thought before we get out of here. I want this one last. Did the Nets win the Cam Johnson trade?
Did the Nets win? Because Michael Porter Jr. Well, the Nets are really good at this wing inflation thing.
Yeah.
This is the third time they've done it.
Yeah.
They did it with Mikal Bridges.
Yep.
They did it with Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
Although all three of these guys were good players before they went there, but they just let them cook and they kind of figure out ways to cover up some of their weaknesses, and they've had some of the best years of their careers with them.
Do we think they're going to get 2 firsts for Michael Porter Jr., dude?
No.
No.
I
don't. They
you
might
gotta match the salary. I mean, it depends on what the trade is, I guess. Are you sending back like horrible salary? Then yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think you would. Yeah.
If you're sending like Jeremy Grant's contract or something.
I think it's like totally possible. I'm like fascinated by the Nets kind of like pantsing people.
People did not like that trade remember, I think Bill trashed that trade. And our instant reaction was like, no, this makes a lot of sense for both teams. Like Michael Porter Jr. isn't horrible. Yeah. Cam Johnson, I thought would be a lot better with Denver, to be clear.
Yeah, me too. I think by the way, I still think he will.
He's figuring it out slowly, but I've just been someone brought this up. I want to say it was Charles, who actually is a Nets fan. I think at Block by Bamba brought up the fact that like when Aaron Gordon became like this like legit shooter, they might have been better off trading for an athlete instead of Cam Johnson, because it was like basically like Jokic plus athletes, and Gordon isn't quite the athlete he used to be. And then he's a good shooter now. Like maybe they could have traded for an athletic wing instead of a shooter wing, because like Cam Johnson's good. He's not athletic. And I've thought about that because I obviously thought Cam Johnson would be better. But my whole thing was, if you're Denver, you're going for it. You need a guy who can actually make the shots in the playoffs. And Porter Jr. has not been doing that recently.
No.
Even though he's like a better rebounder or whatever than Cam Johnson. And then on top of that, if you're the Nets, you're like, sure, we'll take like a pretty good player on like a bloated contract and get an unprotected Denver pick. The quality of that, I just thought the upside with that pick was crazy, because that pick's like 6 or 7 years out, and like Jokic might be retired by then.
Yeah.
And if he is, that's like a really good long-term play.
They did good. Like the Nets might be back.
By the way, someone said that I had to sign the Sean Marks apology form because Danny Wolf had a good game the other night. I said I liked the Danny Wolf pick.
Yeah, he's the only one we did like.
I was like, he's like one of the only ones I was like, oh, that's a good pick.
Yegor Doman.
Yegor Doman. Let's feel it out. Sixers. He had a good game against the Sixers the other night. Some garbage time. If he can shoot off the dribble though, like he'll be a very long-term NBA player for sure. Just with size, passing, ability to shoot off the dribble. The Sixers defense is kind of the new pace. Remember the Pacers 2 years ago? Everyone would play the Pacers before they got Siakam, and the pace of the game was crazy, and someone would score like 50, and everyone would lose their mind, including me with Tyrese Maxey. That's the Sixers this year.
Yeah.
We're like, we play guys, and I'm like, that guy, and this has nothing to do with Yegor Doman at all. What I'm trying to say is that there will be many stat lines you see against the Sixers this year, and you're like, oh my God, Jalen Johnson had 45, 10, and 10. You're like, there's a tax. There's a Sixers tax for sure. It went Pacers, the Bucks with Dame when they had no point of attack defense, and the Sixers in terms of the tax on perimeter players going off. So anyway,
we're gonna go. By the way, Boston Celtics 2 games out of second place.
We never even talked about them for Giannis.
I don't think they'll do it.
I don't think they would either, but if they did, it would probably be based around Jalen, right? It would have to be.
Yeah, it would have to be. And I don't think like, I just don't think they would do that like at this point. Like,
I think the financial stuff is a big part of that too.
Yeah.
I guess they both make a lot of money though.
Yeah. And it's just not really, anything. And I think maybe they would talk about it in the offseason. I'm almost positive it would not happen in the season though. And I don't think Giannis would want to go to Boston either. Like, to be honest, like there's been some like bad blood there. Like we did, like our fans have been like pretty nasty to him. Like I'm not sure he would want to go there.
I think he can get over it, but it is what it is. I hope that doesn't happen personally. The Tatum Giannis fit would be very funny to me because they just feel like very similar players now, where like, yeah. And hopefully they both didn't just tear their Achilles. So
it's not everyone seems to think he might be okay. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I was gonna say everyone seems to think he's okay. So
good. This episode's saved. That's what I was worried about.
Maybe the episode is safe. Yeah. Now it's only just me fucking with my camera for the first 10 minutes. It's the only thing that ruins it. So.
All right. Oh, by the way, you can jump off, Tim. Radioactive streams. I will be streaming next week. Yep. I will be doing my radioactive iodine treatment, which will make it so that I have to self-isolate for 3 days. So links in the description. Follow on Twitch. I'm going to be streaming 2K rebuilds. I've never done that before. I want to start doing that. I'm going to be streaming on Playback and YouTube as well. So check all that shit out. I posted about it. And yes, we will be having guests. Absolutely. We'll be having a lot of fun. We'll be watching cup games. It's going to be great. Be back for the Patreon episode later this week. Peace.